Introduction about H3N2 virus. A virus is a tiny infectious agent that can only reproduce inside a living cell. It can infect all types of living organisms, including animals, plants, and bacteria. Viruses are responsible for a wide range of diseases, from the common cold to more severe illnesses like Ebola and COVID-19. In this article, we will discuss some essential information about viruses, their characteristics, and how they affect our lives. Characteristics of viruses. A virus is a non-living organism that consists of a core of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein coat called a capsid. Some viruses also have an outer envelope made of lipids. The genetic material of the virus contains all the information necessary to reproduce, but it cannot do so on its own. Instead, it must infect a living cell and use the cell's machinery to replicate. The size of a virus ranges from 20 to 300 nanometers, which is much smaller than the smallest bacteria. Because of their small size, viruses are not visible under a regular microscope and require electron microscopes for observation. How do viruses spread? Viruses can spread from person to person through various means. One of the most common ways is through direct contact, such as shaking hands or hugging. It can also spread through indirect contact, such as touching an object contaminated with the virus, like a doorknob or a phone. Airborne transmission is another way viruses can spread. When a person with a viral infection sneezes or coughs, the virus can be transmitted through the air, and anyone nearby can breathe in the virus particles. Some viruses, like the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, can also spread through blood or other bodily fluids, such as semen and breast milk. Impact of viruses on human health. Viruses can cause a range of diseases, from mild to severe. Common examples of viral infections include the common cold, influenza, and chickenpox. More severe diseases caused by viruses include Ebola, HIV, AIDS, and COVID-19. COVID-19, caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, has had a significant impact on human health and the global economy. As of March 2023, COVID-19 has infected over 450 million people and caused over 6 million deaths worldwide. It has also led to significant social and economic disruptions, with many countries implementing lockdowns and travel restrictions to slow the spread of the virus. Vaccines and treatments for viral infections. Many viral infections can be prevented with vaccines. Vaccines work by introducing a small, harmless amount of the virus or its components into the body, which triggers the immune system to produce antibodies. These antibodies can then protect the body against future infections. Treatments for viral infections can be challenging because viruses are difficult to target without harming healthy cells. Antiviral medications are available for some viral infections, but they are not effective for all viruses. Conclusion. Viruses are tiny infectious agents that can cause a range of diseases in humans and other living organisms. They spread through direct and indirect contact, as well as airborne transmission. Vaccines and antiviral medications are available to prevent and treat some viral infections, but others remain a significant public health concern. As we continue to learn more about viruses and how they affect our health, it is essential to follow proper hygiene and social distancing measures to slow their spread. Article on H3N2 virus. Introduction. H3N2 is a subtype of the influenza A virus that causes seasonal flu in humans. It is a highly contagious respiratory virus that spreads from person to person through coughing and sneezing. In this article, we will discuss some essential information about the H3N2 virus, including its characteristics, symptoms, transmission, and prevention. Characteristics of H3N2 virus. The H3N2 virus is an RNA virus that belongs to the orthomyxoviridae family. Like other influenza viruses, H3N2 has two surface proteins that help it enter and infect human cells, hemagglutinin, HA, and neuraminidase, NA. The H3N2 virus undergoes frequent mutations, which allows it to evade the immune system and cause annual outbreaks of seasonal flu. This is why the flu vaccine needs to be updated every year to target the most prevalent strains of the virus. Symptoms of H3N2 infection. The symptoms of H3N2 infection are similar to those of other types of flu and include 1. Fever. 2. Cough. 3. Sore throat. 4. Runny or stuffy nose. 5. Body aches. 6. Headache. 7. Chills. 8. Fatigue. In severe cases, H3N2 infection can lead to complications like pneumonia, bronchitis, and respiratory failure, especially in young children, older adults, and people with underlying health conditions. Transmission of H3N2 virus. The H3N2 virus spreads from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or talks. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby or be inhaled into the lungs. The virus can also spread indirectly through contact with surfaces contaminated with the virus, such as doorknobs, countertops, and toys. People can become infected by touching these surfaces and then touching their mouth, nose, or eyes. Prevention of H3N2 infection. The best way to prevent H3N2 infection is by getting an annual flu vaccine. The vaccine contains inactivated or weakened viruses that help the immune system develop antibodies against the virus. In addition to vaccination, practicing good hygiene can also reduce the risk of infection. This includes 1. Washing hands frequently with soap and water. 2. Covering mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. 3. Avoiding close contact with people who are sick. 4. Cleaning and disinfecting surfaces regularly. Conclusion. H3N2 is a subtype of the influenza A virus that causes seasonal flu in humans. It is highly contagious and can lead to severe complications, especially in young children, older adults, and people with underlying health conditions. Vaccination and good hygiene practices are essential for preventing H3N2 infection and reducing the spread of the virus.